What is the most pleasant, non-sexual, non-drug experience a human can have? That deep, rare laugh when you're doubled over, with tears in your eyes, and every time you almost stop your companion starts up again. Also massage, and I find adrenaline-based sports exhilarating too. That moment at the start of a road trip, early morning, and you first get on the highway and start to feel like you're on your way, sunrise in bloom and your favorite song on the radio. Being surrounded by people that genuinely like you and enjoy your company. Being surrounded with friends that genuinely love and support you is, at least for me, the meaning of a quality life. Connections to the people around you that share your limited time alive together are what make that time valuable. Coming home to my toddler daughter running into my arms, she would bolt regardless of what time it was and just climb up me. Spend the next couple hours attempting to walk with her clung to my leg. She is now 12 and I regret all the I did when she was younger. Once a young boy gave me a quarter I didn't know I left on an arcade game at a burger shack. Small place, one game. I looked him in the eye and thanked him for being honest and told him to keep it and play a game. He got really excited and told his mom. His brother got super excited just to watch him play one game, and it felt like they'd never been given a quarter to play before. It still hits me, just that was so easy and it meant so much to them. Executing a corner correctly on your motorcycle. Seriously, I'm a dumb guy but I like bikes and I learned a huge amount about the physics of riding by taking a racing class many years ago after riding for 20+ years. I was doing it wrong and doing it in a dangerous way, but this class taught me how to corner correctly. The feeling I get from an absolutely balls to the wall corner is not like anything else in my life. Making my wife happy in bed is great, but it's a different feeling. Mastering a corner is different. When you brake perfectly, knock it over to the knee, and then accelerate right at the edge of the frictional coefficient of your tires and find yourself with maximal escape velocity hits. Something, not sexual, but it's something. It makes you want to do it over and over and over. A friend of mine told me that a woman I was interested in had a crush on me. Wow, that was something. But I guess that's the feeling of being wanted. Or maybe the feeling that you might get what you want. Or I don't know. Just feeling good that someone thinks about you in a fond way. I quite enjoyed that experience. As a kid, your mom driving you and your friend home after a long day at the pool, eating a snack, feeling the slightly damp towel you're sitting on, a slightly cool breeze from the window roll down starting to dry your hair, and you can start to feel a slight sunburn on your cheeks. Waking up in the morning, feeling tired and miserable, get dressed for work, go sit down for a shitty cereal breakfast, and then realize it is Saturday and you can get back in bed and sleep for as long as you like. I once saw an Alaskan fur trapper on TV say the best feeling in life is when you are very cold and finally find warmth again. He said anyone who disagrees has never been truly cold. I was once trapped outside for a few hours in 15°F weather and I have to say I agree. Two experiences immediately come to mind for me. Those first few tingly moments of getting into a hot bath after feeling cold or stressed, listening to an amazing song on a gorgeous summer day, and the melody and atmosphere is so euphoric you feel like you're floating and nothing can touch you. Two experiences immediately come to mind for me. Those first few tingly moments of getting into a hot bath after feeling cold or stressed, listening to an amazing song on a gorgeous summer day, and the melody and atmosphere is so euphoric you feel like you're floating and nothing can touch you. This will very much be your mileage may vary, but the absolute happiest I've ever felt was just after my son was born. The birth had gone really well. I already had a 3-year-old daughter, and I knew my family was complete. I felt like I was in heaven. Finally chugging water after being severely dehydrated after a terribly planned car trip. Me and my brother had spent nearly 24 hours without water, in 90-degree weather. Finally, someone found us, and they drove us to a gas station and we ran in, and the feeling of that icy cold water finally entering me was unbelievable. It felt like I could feel the water flow through me and my dried up organs were soaking it up. I have a few socks and shoes off after a long work day, taking the fucking bra off after 12+ hours, finally getting that thing out of your shoe that's been bothering you for hours. A foodgasm, something so delicious, so pleasing, it's so orgasmic, you can even feel it in your toes, reaching that itch on your back. When you're proud of what you've done. I work at a McDonald's. I'm a closer on weeknights. Tonight I spent extra time to bring up breakfast dishes so Epnas wouldn't have to. It feels good. A comforting hug from someone who understands the feeling of accomplishment when you reach your goal. Whether it be long/short term, the smile on your parents' face when they're proud, the sun warming up your face in the morning or afternoon, on this first day of summer break, having fun with your friends, realizing they're becoming or already are your family, realizing that your mistakes will not forever define you, and that you can and will have redemption, a loud and full belly laugh, with no lingering hesitation, just heartfelt laughter, being able to help someone with a good heart, and seeing their smile and gratitude, and being thankful that you could help them. When you're able to come out of your shell and or stand up for yourself, when you realize that you deserve much more than staying hidden or under someone's control, when you find something you desperately wanted on sale, when it's your birthday and your friends and family give you presents, not for the gifts, but for realizing they remember and listen to what you talk about and know what you like, and realize that hey, they listened, they care. When you realize that a test you didn't study for has been cancelled, postponed, this is more relief though I guess XD. When you try something for the first time and are like holy shit, how did I not try this before? When you read a book, watch a movie you emotionally connect with, a happy life, edit, a point. You go swimming in the ocean, you come out of the ocean and walk to your towel and your feet are covered in sand. You try to get the sand off your feet but can't, so you forget about it, but then in like 15 minutes you remember and it's all dried and you can just dust it off. It's one of my favorite feelings. Releasing all the tension and pressure and stress in your body, taking a huge dump, cleaning out your ears, getting a full body massage, popping all those zits. Just turning your body into a pile of mushy, relaxed flesh. Playing music together. First time I played along with a friend's band, I almost nutted. It just feels so right to be playing together with more than one person to perform a track. Damn, I need a band, but nobody wants a folk, orchestral fan that wants to learn the bouzouki and keys, On this first day of your well-earned, long-awaited summer holiday, you're lying on a sun lounger in the warm but not too hot sun with the breeze flowing over your body. The feeling of that breeze on my skin is one of the best things for me. Cuddling or a long hug with a very close person, cherry on top if a dog or a cat joins the cuddling, and hearing things like you're important, I'm glad we know each other, etc. from close people, who don't just say it but mean it sincerely. Playing a musical instrument can be very pleasant, especially when you kind of lock completely into the music and forget everything else. I have gotten to play with a band on a stage for a reasonably sized audience a few times. I am usually a very reserved, shy and quiet person who don't like too much attention, but when you really get into it on the stage, and all of the instruments blend together, it can get very intoxicating and addictive. It is almost like the person that is usually locked inside the little space in my head comes out and fills the whole room. I suddenly become this other person who isn't afraid to take center stage and let everyone know what I have to say. I instantly get stronger, braver and turn into the most vocal extrovert, and it stays this way until the music stops. Afterwards I am exhausted and start wondering what on earth I just did. For me personally, the best experience is when somebody tells you in an absolutely genuine fashion that they are impressed by something you've done, or are proud of you for something. Specifically, one of the best feelings I've ever had was when someone I greatly respected gave me a glowing character reference, where in no uncertain terms they stated they were extremely impressed by my integrity and character. Man, if my sense of self-worth could physically inflate, it could have crushed everyone in the room at that moment. I've never had a feeling quite like that since. A shower or bath after days or more than a week with no shower, while being out in 90+ degrees Fahrenheit, every day covered in dust or mud and sweat, while staying with 6 other men in the same shit. Then going to bed on your own mattress and cuddling with your girl alone and in peace and quiet. Best feeling of my life. Went bungee jumping in Acapulco. It was up in 150 feet tower along the shoreline. The adrenaline dump was pretty amazing. Went parasailing afterwards and it was pretty been almost 20 years and haven't had much compare. I'm no fan of heights, so it was unpleasant at first but quite exhilarating. Going to sleep body pile mode with people you love. I used to spend holidays with my sister and our 4 cousins when we were kids. Oftentimes, and when the weather was too hot, we would all crawl into bed with my grandma. Since her room was the only one with AC in the house, we were like a bunch of puppies, piled up on top of each other, right by my grandmother, and I can't remember ever feeling that safe in my entire life. Plus, the greatest age difference between us all is 3 years, so we grew really close, and it's so safe to that safe, because I am trying to work on my grammar. Waking up from general anesthesia was pretty damn nice, I must admit. Or does that count as a drug experience? Alternate answer. Picking a kitten and having it seek you out to sleep on. My cat has been my cuddly little shadow for over a year now, and there's nothing like the unconditional love of an animal. I was in a food hall and I spoke to a shy, nervous girl who was trying so hard to get my order right. I came back half an hour later and said, "You are the prettiest girl in the whole food hall," which she was. But I was really talking about her character. Her face lit up and she said, "Thank you so much, thank you so much." I was happy about that for days afterwards. I made me realize once again how much people need to be seen and recognized just for who they. James said our deepest longing is the need to be appreciated, and it is so easy to do for someone. Just eye contact and a smile can make someone feel better about themselves. When I come back home, even if I've only been gone for 15 minutes, and my dog greets me like I'm the best thing in the universe, brings me his favorite toy and velcros himself to me for the next 20 minutes, he's so happy I'm here with him and he just sits on me, so I have to stay. Well, the holy trinity of satisfaction is named sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You ruled out 2 of those things, so you are left with really good fucking music. If you want my advice, be adventurous. Try out heavy music honestly. I know the cliches. It's just noise, they are just screaming. No, it's not. A solid back pop after a few months of hard work. The last time I had my bubby pop my back, it popped in multiple spots and I lost my breath for 2 seconds. I thought that was just an over-exaggeration that some people did. It is not. Hurt so goddamn good. Trying something and getting it right the first time, expecting something beautiful only to find out it exceeds your expectations. counting on someone and having them be there without you saying anything, finishing a project with success, achieving a childhood goal, getting unexpected load of cash, your best friend knowing exactly what you want, experiencing something for the first time and it's amazing. A genuine tight hug, an I care about you hug. I still remember when my general manager gave me a hug when I told her my mom was diagnosed with cancer. I remember where we were standing. I have moved on from that job, but that lady became one of my best friends in life. That hug meant a lot to me. Those random moments where you stop and notice that everything is good, no worries or stresses and a good mood all around. Those moments where you step back and just think, wow, I am so happy right now, makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. Also a good hug, one of those hugs you never want to let go and feel so safe. Hugging my brother, we're both big dudes, like 6'4", 6'5", 220 to 250 pounds, and have masculine jobs/lives that require a more stoic mindset. We grew up in a chaotic environment, without much affection, very much relying on one another. We don't see one another enough. But when we do, it's that hug that lets us know all's right in the world. He hugs his sons every morning before putting them on the school bus. His oldest graduated HS this year and said it was what he'll miss most while at college. A hug from his dad every morning. Not sure if this is what you meant, but a girlfriend invited me to her family reunion ages ago. After dinner, it was quiet and peaceful outside as I hopped into a hammock. I'd had just the right amount of chicken fajitas and just the right amount of beer. The setting sun sent beautiful pink rays of reflected light off the lake stretched out in front of me. I accidentally fell asleep and stayed out in the hammock all night. Woke up the next morning feeling like $1,000,000. Finally accomplishing that one task or dream you've always pursued. Proving people wrong when you do something they said you'd never do. Full out singing to your favorite songs in your car and not caring how you look or sound to the person in the car beside you. We drove 2,500 miles from Minnesota to South Padre for spring break. I rode with 4 of my best friends and we had 20 people total. We made it down, we ran to the beach. I saw the ocean. I knew we had 5 days in that sun and all the fun we could have. I hit my knees. In that moment it was euphoria. I have never felt anything close to it before or since. Being in a band on stage, looking out to the crowd in the middle of a song and seeing everyone enjoying it. I'm in a death metal band, so looking up and seeing the mosh pit going, and people with their horns in the air and cheering at the end is pure bliss. This sounds like a sexual title, but it isn't. It's called rib rubs. There's nothing complicated about it. You just kinda pop out your chest cavity and rub your hands up and down your ribs. Or you can get your so, if you have one, to do it while you stretch your arms upwards. This can be done over clothing or not, doesn't matter. Rib rubs might actually be the most satisfying stupid thing ever. I completely understand why pets love it. Well, it comes after sex. But my wife and I have a 5-month-old daughter and she is the greatest thing in my life. I love taking her hiking and watching her go in the water for the first time. Nothing has ever made me happier. People always complain about having kids and them being little shits, but I have found it to be the most rewarding experience ever. You're holding something expensive and fragile, let's say a Fujifilm X-Series X-T3 mirrorless camera with XF18 55mm f2.84 RL and OIS lens, and you drop it. You lash out and bump it with your arm, sending it whirling into the air, and you leap forward, only just barely grasping it. It slips through your fingers and hurtles to the ground, but you manage to bop it into the air once more and then firmly grasp it. The first time your child looks up and recognizes you and calls you by name. The first time your child makes a joke intentionally and belly laughs. I didn't want kids, I got two. There's a lot of things that I never knew were possible. A lot of love I didn't know existed. That's beyond pleasant.